Hey, what's up interwebs? I'm that toy guy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Generations Titans Returns Deluxe Class Monxo and, well, Wolfwire / Weird Wolf, depending on what you want to call him. So here he is, and first we'll take a look at the box. So here's the box, your standard deluxe package. You got a picture of the toy, you got the name, you got the name of the line, you have the company name because they have to do that. You got a nice picture of, I'm going to call him Weird Wolf. So you have a nice picture of Weird Wolf there in his head-on mode. You got nothing on this side. You got a picture of him again on that side. In case you forgot what franchise this is, it says it big red letters on the side. On the back, you have this sort of read-up thing that explains to you how the gimmick works on the side. There you have a out-of-focus-ish bio if you want to read it. And then there you have how the toy works. It's 15 steps, and it shows you how the cockpit works and all that. So, box. Gotta do this properly. And knock everything else off the desk. So here is Weird Wolf, Wolfwire, whatever. I'm calling him Weird Wolf because I grew up with the cartoon, even though I'm not old enough to be born during the time of the cartoon. That was still my first piece of Transformers media. So I know him as Weird Wolf. And this figure is really cool. I do quite like it very much. It does have a little bit of issues, and I will get into that. A couple of them in wolf mode and a couple of them in robot mode, but overall, he does look quite nice. Now, before we get into Weird Wolf, first let's look at Monxo, who is a big slab of blue and gray unpainted plastic. But he's got the standard articulation that all these Titan Masters do of the arms and the legs, and the upside down head on the back, which I wish was painted black, but I can do that myself, so I'm not too worried about that. And he's quite small. I mean, here he is next to a smaller Lego minifigure. Wow, that is terribly out of focus. Just so you can get a sense of scale there. Here's Minimus. So you can see there, he's a lot shorter than Minimus. And here he is next to one of those Cineplex drink toppers, just because I have one. So yeah, he is quite a small figure. And he does have a place to sit on Weird Wolf. You can fold him up like this and just sit him in the gun, just like if you want. Or, the best way to do it is you open this up here on the back, and there are two little pegs right there that peg into the little slots underneath his legs. So you just take him and you peg him on in there. You have to make sure that his head is lined up with that little square gap right there. So he's moving forward, and there you go. Now he is stored in the cockpit, which I really do like that. That is a very nice callback to G1, because the G1 Weird Wolf had a cockpit on his back. Now, getting into the actual toy here, the main event of the why you buy this. He's okay. He looks nice. He looks like Weird Wolf. Looks like how he did in the original cartoon, with a little bit more yellow. Like, I remember the whole neck section back here in the G1 cartoon was white. And I kind of wish that this was like that, but at the same time, I like this design. He's quite long, too. Like, he's quite a long figure. Here he is next to Skydive, so you can get a sense of scale there. There he is next to Skydive, and it's really the tail that adds all the length, but it's still pretty cool. Oh, one thing I forgot to show off is he does come with the card, which I do like. I love getting these cards. The card sleeve is not included, I just have those. But you have that same picture here of him in head-on mode. You have his cannon mounted on his shoulder, which is interesting. It says Titans Return, Weird Wolf, Wolfwire, Hasbro. On the back you have his tech specs and of him and him with the head on, and yeah, card. So yeah, detail-wise, this guy has a lot of nice detail. Just, why is my camera falling over? Again. There we go. Stop falling over. He does have some nice molded detail on the head there. He's got a nice translucent red inside the entire head. So his teeth are picked out in that same plastic. It is a little soft, so you won't risk like poking yourself or breaking it. He has this weird nose thing that people don't like. I'm fine with it. Looks fine. He's got missiles up here. You've got that nice yellow. The yellow does change a lot throughout this guy, so don't expect it to be consistent. You got some blue. You got some more yellow here. Got some more nice the sword is very, very nicely detailed. That looks awesome. The cockpit looks nice too. Now, mine, I don't know if this is an issue on all of them, but mine needed an extra coat of silver paint badly on the claws. Because the blue is very much, like you can see it on this foot, this is probably the worst. It is very much bleeding through there. That is just, ugh. I can fix that, but I mean, it should be fixed in the first production. What the heck? Tripod. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill you, tripod. You suck. Oh my God. You know what? Let's try this. See how that goes. This stupid thing doesn't like to stay. What was I talking about? Yeah, the silver. I can paint it, but I wish it was like that was finished in the finished product. Articulation-wise, the head can do a full 360 degrees, although I don't know why you'd want it to. It can look left and right a little bit. The mouth can open. Now, it can only open this far. If you push it any further, you will break the jaw. Because I have. You can see that little crack right there inside the jaw. There it is. I snapped it. Because it looks like it's supposed to go further, right? It looks like it's supposed to continue. But when you continue, it makes a loud snapping noise and it breaks the plastic. So be very careful with that. The shoulders are on ball joints. They're the robot mode arms, so they can go forward and back. They can go out. You do have a swivel here. You have an elbow bend, and the foot is on a ball joint and a swivel. So you do have some nice posability there. Legs are on a ball joint back here, and you have like a joint, a ball joint, and a ball joint. So you can get tons of movement out of this guy, and the tail can turn. Now his gun does mount up top using these two pegs, go into those two ports on top there, which I think is a really nice design. I kind of like that. But at the same time, it kind of just gets rid of the whole, hey, plug this on top or something like that, unless you want to plug it into that square. But yeah, here's the cannon. It's big, it's chunky because you got to fit a Titan Master in there. But it's just your standard gun, nothing special about it. I just kind of forget about it usually. So, I guess there's nothing left to do but to transform this guy. So the first thing you want to do is you want to straighten out your tripod because it's not standing. Then you want to unplug the tail and put that off to the side. And we should probably remove Monxo here. So come on out, Monxo. Put him off to the side and leave the cockpit open. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you want to take this gray section here, and you can see it's on a slider. You want to slide it up so that these clips are now out of the torso. And on this double hinge here with that port, you want to shift it up and in. You'll hear it click, push it in. Now you can fold the cockpit back down, and now you've compressed his torso. Now you want to come to the legs, you want to straighten them out as best you can. Then you want to rotate this at the ball joint so that this tab is facing forward. Bring this down, and there's a tab right there that'll tab into a slot right there on the bottom of his foot. Let me move this up here. So you just want to take it and tab it in, just like so. And then take this little section here that's sticking out of the bottom of the foot there. That's for your nail. You can see it. You put your nail in there and flick out the foot, and it'll clip into place. There you have a leg. All done. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Rotate that around. Tab that in. Flip this out. There you have both his legs. All done. Now, the arms. You want to take them, rotate them down, just like so. Straighten out the elbows. Rotate at the bicep swivel, just like that. Fold up the paws. Flip out this panel here and flip out the hands. They are made of a softer material. It's still a little hard, but it is semi-soft, so you won't break it when you pull it out of there. So do the same thing on this side. Flip the hands. Excuse me. Now, the head, the wolf head, you want to take and you want to unpeg it. Now his ears and his nose will fit into those two gaps and that gap respectively. So you just hold it up and plug it in. There you have him in his robot mode. Now, Monxo, fold him in half. There's the head sculpt of Weird Wolf. Take a look at that quickly. And it's okay. Could use a bit more paint, but I mean, hey, it's a Hasbro toy. Everything can use a bit more paint. So you take it and you plug it into the top, and there you have Weird Wolf in his robot mode, and this thing looks awesome. I love this thing. This looks so cool. I really do like the new designs that we're getting for these Titans Returns figure. Well, these Prime Wars Trilogy figures are all like amazing. They're all awesome. I'm really looking forward to what we're gonna get next. Like, apparently there's an Overlord coming out. There's a 6-shot coming out. There's a Blitzwing and an Octane, and I'm so looking forward to all those figures. I just named a whole bunch of Decepticons, didn't I? Oh well. We're also apparently getting a Trypticon. That I'm looking forward to. That is probably the one thing I'm looking forward to the most. But anyway, here he is in his robot mode, and he looks nice. He looks very, very good. Does have its issues, but we'll get to that later. So, if I throw it across the frame here, the sword does have storage. You just rotate his arms up. There's a port right here on his, I guess his knee. There's 2 pegs on the side of the sword. You just plug it in there, and there you have his sword sheathed on his knee, because that's where you sheathe the sword, apparently, is on your knee. Cannon, just do what the picture shows and plug it on his shoulder. And there you have Weird Wolf looking weird, like his name implies. I don't like doing this. Again, I just kind of forget about the cannon, because I don't like the cannon. But the sword, you can drop, and it just goes in his hand, just like so. And there you go. Now he's all Weird Wolfy. Now that's awesome. There you got a... no, that's the sticker. The Decepticon logo looks like a sticker, but it actually isn't, which I kind of like that a lot. On mine, though, mine is a little crooked. I don't know how you can make that up, but it is a little crooked that way. So, oh well. But there aren't really many more details exposed in robot mode. You got some silver here in the chest, but that's about it. Now, one weird thing about this guy is the instructions don't say anything about this, but his chest opens for some reason. I don't know if it's to call back to the original headmaster saying, yeah, their chest's open, but I think this is the only guy whose chest does this, and I don't understand why it opens. It might just be to help you push this out. I'm not 100% sure, because this is the belly of the actual wolf, and you remember how you have to shift it up? That might be what that's for, but I don't know. And this yellow is different from this yellow, and this yellow is different from this yellow, so none of the yellows match, and this yellow is different from that yellow, so yeah. Articulation on this guy in robot mode, his head's on a ball joint. You don't get much wiggle, you can't look up or down just due to the way that this whole thing is made. He can do a full 360 degrees, which is nice. Shoulders are on ball joints, so they can rotate, they can go out a little bit further than wolf mode, but not a lot. I wish they could go out a bit more. That would be my preference. Let me see if this will work. The tripod will stay if I do this. Hopefully it will. So far so good. He does have a bicep swivel, elbow bend, just under 90 degrees. The wrists don't do anything, which kind of upsets me because I like when my robots have a sword. I like when their wrist swivels. But oh well. He does have a waist joint, although it is a little limited due to the backpack. Legs can go forward. They can only go back that far. They can go out. They can pretty much do the full splits. You do have a above the knee swivel. 90 degrees of bend there at the knee. You have all these different joints in the legs you can use if you want. But if you don't, then the feet are on ball joints. So you get a little bit of ankle tilt there. You get some forward movement and a little bit of backward movement. And the toe can move down. I don't know. You can't make use of that joint at all, but it's there if you want. So yeah, now again, this guy is using my least favorite style of joint, ball joints, and they are everywhere. And he has started getting loose on me. So like the legs were super tight when I first opened it up out of the box. Now they're a little floppy. You can see there. So for comparison, here he is next to Skydive, and as you can see, he's a little taller than Skydive, just because of the headmaster gimmick there. But yeah, I think these guys. I think that because when the Transformer brand switches from line to line, the aesthetics change. Like what is it? Like for example, Prime was different from the movies, which is different from Generations, which is different from RID. But Combiner Wars and Titans Return, even though they're still part of the subcategory Generations, they're still different subcategories of, you know, Combiner Wars and Titans Returns. I love how the aesthetics have been kept the same. The aesthetics, they still look IDW. They still look G1-ish. They still look good together. Like, they still have the same aesthetic, and I really do like how Hasbro has kept that aesthetic between the two lines, and I'm excited to see what the third part of the Prime Wars trilogy will be. I really hope it's Power Masters. But yeah. So that's really about it for this guy. He's cool, he's yellow, he makes you want to pee if you stare at him for too long, but he's Weird Wolf, and I would say go out and get this guy if you want to be a Titans Returns completionist. If you want to get just a couple of Titans Returns figures, maybe this one. This one's probably the better of the deluxes, but I mean, Wave 3 just got released, or I think it officially just got released at the time of this recording. So I would be on the lookout for those, because I think Wave 3's deluxes are a lot better than Wave 1 and 2's, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, that has been my look at the Transformers Generations Titans Returns Deluxe Class Monxo and Wolfwire / Weird Wolf, and I'm that toy guy, and stay tuned for my next video.